performance that wasn't good enough in really in all phases. We didn't play well enough. We didn't coach well enough. We have to do a better job. We fought ourselves back, got back into the game at halftime, felt like we were in a good position. And we really just didn't do anything in the second half, so we have to be better.
Yeah, late in the game, third down, fourth down, you guys are missing all the interior offensive line. You ran both behind them both times. Why did you guys do that there?
Well, we felt like we could make a first down, and we didn't do it. And we have to be able to make, we got to be able to make, what was it, 1.5 yards, I think, so we have to be able to make that. So, yeah, I mean, we got to make it.
Is that frustrating on penalties?
Very, yeah. And look, I'll go back and look at all of them. I know some of them certainly look legitimate. So we'll have to go back and look at it. But I think we had 10. I think they had 3 or 4. So and some of those that we had specifically on defense, kept drives alive, gave them first downs. So yeah, it's disappointing.
Dennis, did you guys expect to have this much trouble running against good?
No, look, we knew they were a good, run defense. And we knew that they were going to have some juice coming back with having TJ back out there. So, but look, we felt like we would be able to run the balls better than we did. We knew it'd be tough, but we felt like we could run it better than we did.
Dennis, when the team is kind of having the same sort of problems on a weekly basis, whether it's the turnovers or not forcing them or having trouble stopping the run, what does that all boil down to?
Yeah, I think we got to coach it better and play it better. I mean, I just think we have to be better in a lot of areas.
At this point, will you think about a quarterback change for next week?
I'm not going to get into that right now. We just, came off the game. We'll have plenty of time to evaluate where we're at in a lot of areas.
You said James's health, you're healthy enough to play, though. With his health, considering he's probably still not 100%, impact that decision? Is there a point?
Yeah, look, I mean, I know we're all, looking for answers there, but I'm not going to go there right now. We'll evaluate where we're at and we'll have a plan for this coming up week.
Dennis, after a 7th loss, how does the message change from the 6th to 7th loss, or does it change in the locker room of the team?
Well, look, I mean, when you get in situations like these, you have to fight your way out of it. There's no other way to get out of it other than fight your way out of it. And, this is where you got to lean on the leadership of the group, and they got to pull us through.
Why did you guys decide to foul away down this week?
We felt like that was the group that gave us the best chance.
Do you worry about keeping the locker room together at this point?
No.
Dennis, did they do anything in particular to limit AK in this game, especially just as a passing target with it?
Yeah, look, we struggled to get in much of a rhythm offensively, and so I think it all started with our inability to be able to run the football. I don't think they did anything, in particular that, took him away. We just didn't get him the ball as much as we probably would like to have.
When you have someone like Alontae Taylor and Paulson Adebo who have more than one penalty in a game, do you talk to them in the moment?
Well, look, yeah, some of the fouls are, aggressive, fouls. So, no, I didn't specifically go over to each one of them and have a discussion with them about the fouls. We'll get them corrected.
Did you see this as a good opportunity to kind of stay within striking distance of the division and just kind of those things?
Yeah, look, we got to worry about winning games, and that's really where the focus is.
You say you guys got to play better, coach better. What do you guys have to coach better in that equation?
Well, I think some of it would come down to some fundamentals and technique. I still think there's got to be some improvement there. You know, the discipline aspect of you know, we had a couple of false start penalties. You know, there's just a lot of different areas that we've got to improve on.
I know you're not gonna wanna make an excuse or anything, but when health is such, it's an obvious logical factor in this, like, how much do you guys equate that into kind of what's going on?
Look, I mean, listen, I couldn't sit here and say that it's not a factor, you know, but it's the nature of the beast that we're dealing with. So we got to find a way to get the guys out there that we have on the field and get them to play their best ability, and then they got to go out and execute.
When you look at where this team is now compared to maybe where they were at the beginning of the season, do you feel like this team's improved?
In certain areas, yeah. You know, but we're not getting the results that we need to get. And certainly I think these last couple of weeks we've probably taken a little bit of a step back in terms of production. So we'll go back and evaluate and keep working.
When you say you're not worried about the locker room, why not?
Because I think we have a good locker room. I think we have a bunch of guys that are fighters, and I think they're going to still, you know, fight and compete. All right, thanks.
Okay, locker room's open. We'll have Andy Dalton.
It's still who that, but who? Being a Saints fan is never. It's not, man. Being a Saints fan is never. Look. Started off the season, thought this team was going to win the division. 10 weeks later, this wasn't the team that I envisioned. Watching the games have been disgusting. DA ain't the answer, and at this point ain't even worth discussing. Can't move the ball, they stay punting. Yeah, it's amazing how this team's sucking. God, please grant this team some D. They gonna need it, cause Dalton been throwing picks and underthrowing his receivers, and my patience is bad. I'm constantly getting mad. I'm thinking about the teams and players they used to have when Breeze surely was clutch and Peyton cooking it up, and the defense was average, but at least they didn't suck. Too many problems, too many false starts, too many injuries to these players. Man, they leaving on cards. Somebody told me we need to go and blow this thing up, but this the life of a Saints fan, a season of bad luck, and I can't believe it. Being a Saints fan is never easy. It's not, man. Being a Saints fan is never easy. All we want you to do is what we know you can do. But hey, maybe it's not our year. What's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, TJ Jones. I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints lose yet another game. The Saints have lost 4 out of their last 5 games. They lose to the Pittsburgh Steelers by a score of 20-10. You know, it just seems like to me, if you're a team that stinks, a team that's struggling, a team that's horrible, a team that just can't get anything right, all you have to do is find out that you're playing the Saints and everything will work out fine. You know, like if you're a coach, you're a dead man coaching, play the Saints. If you have issues with running the football, play the Saints. You have an issue with passing the football, play the Saints. If you have issues with your offensive line, play the Saints. If you have issues with your defensive line, play the Saints. Like, it's just amazing to me how this team has fell the hell off. Like, people want to talk about injuries. People want to talk about how the Saints don't have this guy and that guy. Look, I get all that. But what this team is right now is a team that has no heart, a team that has no passion, and a team that has no leaders. None. Guys are just out there just running around getting cardio. Like, you know, they might as well join me at Planet Fitness, you know what I'm saying, if they want to get their cardio on, because you're missing tackles. Guys are holding. I mean, the Saints, what they had, like 6 penalties, like off holding. Like, Pittsburgh got 6 first downs off penalties off the Saints, automatic first downs. This is an undisciplined football team. And people, for some apparent reason, they are still up here talking about how it's not Dennis Allen's fault. Like, are you out of your freaking mind? Like, you got to be out of your freaking mind if you feel like the undisciplined play of this team is not because of Dennis Allen not making it imperative for them to make these type of mistakes. They don't fear this man in ways I don't feel like they respect this man. And right now, I want this dude the hell off the sidelines. Like, I'm serious. I'm being dead serious right now. Look, I love the New Orleans Saints, but I'm going to be real with y'all. If the Saints didn't win another game just so this clown can get the hell up off the sidelines, I would be all for it. Like, I know people want to talk about the Philadelphia pick. It is what it is, man. It is what it is. If the Saints have to lose every game for the rest of the season, because you know they're not going to make the playoffs. They ain't making the playoffs. I don't even know why y'all up here watching these other NFC South teams. Because when it comes to it, when the Saints got to play them, they're going to lose. This is not a good football team, period. If that means losing every single game for the rest of the season, just so Dennis Allen can no longer be the head coach of the Saints, I'm all for it. Because guess what, Who Dat Nation? I done checked out. Man, because I already know what's going to happen. We already know what's going to happen. Deep down inside, you know what's going to happen. The reason why you probably don't want to admit it because of the love that you have for this team, and I understand that. But look, I cannot join everybody in the land of delusion like some of you people are. Like, you got to be delusional if you think that all of a sudden, like, this team going to have some fairy pixie dust just sprinkled on them, and then all of a sudden it's just going to absolve them and make them a better football team. They are not a good football team. They're pathetic. The coaching staff are pathetic. Like, this team right now loaded with injuries. Like, this is like really bad stuff. Like, I don't know if somebody made a deal with a voodoo priestess or voodoo priest you know, like, okay, man, look, all I need is about 16 years of prosperity, all right? And maybe the voodoo priestess and came back and it's time for us to divvy up. I don't know what the heck is going on. But this team is garbage. Like, this is straight dumpster juice personified right here. Like, I ain't about to sit up here and just be straight up delusional like some of these folks. Man, look, if it's DA fault, like, man, shut up. Like, seriously. Man, some of y'all, like, honestly, some of y'all will argue, you know what I'm saying, about having surgery without anesthetic. Like, man, well, if they put you to sleep, like, man, some of y'all will argue about anything. You got clowns up here right now trying to justify Dennis Allen as a head coach. What does being a head coach got to do with your team being disciplined? If your team is not, like, if you got guys that's missing, what does that have to do with guys going off sides? What's that got to do with your secondary holding? What's that got to do with guys not tackling? What's that got to do with anything? Because at the end of the day, they're professionals. If the Saints look good and they play discipline and lost, I can get down with that. Well, at least they tried hard. But look, there was no part of this game where I felt like the Saints were in it. And honestly, the 2-minute drill is like the only thing they did right, which is like the same thing every single game. The 2-minute drill is like the only thing that they do right. So I guess if they played no huddle, I guess if Chip Kelly was the coach, I guess the Saints would be fine, right? I'm over this guy, man. I want this dude off the sidelines. Like, seriously, man. Like, this dude is a terrible head coach. I cannot believe anybody could feel that this dude is the answer. If Dennis Allen is the answer, you need to change the damn question. Seriously. What part of this dude, like, honestly, for all the people out there that's trying to be contrarians, you know what I'm saying? I guess everybody trying to be their own little troll. They see it work for all these talking heads on Monday Morning Quarterback. So maybe they feel like they can fall in this category themselves. But what has Dennis Allen done that you can just say, man, we can build off that this year? This dude is delusional. Who asked him the question? I don't know if it's Catherine Terrell or it was Nick Underhill, but somebody asked, do you feel like this team is improving? He like, I see in some ways. Where's that? Because for the last 2 weeks, y'all looked as if y'all didn't belong nowhere on the field with teams with struggles. Baltimore Ravens literally beat the New Orleans Saints by throwing to absolutely no wide receivers. And today, the Pittsburgh Steelers, like, man, if the Pittsburgh Steelers play next week, they probably get mud walked. These guys didn't average more than a 20-yard run all season. Najee Harris had his career high, a season high. Kenny Pickett had his season high. All you got to do is just play the Saints. Look at the Saints, put them boys on your schedule, and then all of a sudden, everything going to be all right. Like for 1 week, at least, you can feel like a champion. We look at this team and we look at it offensively. You look at Alvin Kamara not involved in the game at all. You look at Taysom Hill. Oh, you know what I'm saying? It's a negative 1 yard rush. You don't see him no more. Oh, let's go ahead and scratch that. Let's not run that anymore. It didn't work this time. So, of course, it's not going to work later on in the game. Like, bump trying to wear down the defense. Bump all that. And then you got Andy freaking Dalton out there throwing these weak-ass fade routes when you got your wide receiver in front of them. How about putting the ball in front of the receivers where they don't have to reach back or jump over nobody's head like they Randy Moss in 98? How about doing that? Chris Olave was open. If you would have led that ball out to the front of him, you wouldn't have to worry about Casey catching a pick or your wide receiver taking a hit, your best wide receiver, and chances of him being on IR. Throwing balls behind them. And the Saints got the nerve. They got the nerve to not want to put Callaway out there like they built like that. Like they Jackson State, like they deep at wide receiver like that. Dennis Allen got to get off my sidelines, folks. That's it. As a Saints fan for over 30 years, I want this dude out. Like, there's nothing more we need to see about this dude. Let's just go ahead and get through the end of this season. Let's go ahead and just finish it up. Whatever happened with the draft pick, let's just let them get their laugh in and ha, he, and keep it moving. Because I will not subject myself to this nonsense like this next year. Like, it shouldn't be. They need to go ahead and just completely wipe this slate clean. They need to completely just go ahead and just completely blow this whole thing up. Because right now, what they have isn't working. Like, Dennis Allen is terrible. Like, this dude is done. And Andy Dalton, man, like, look, me beating on Andy Dalton and saying that he a bad quarterback is like saying ice cream isn't good. You know what I'm saying? Like, ice cream is good. Or vanilla, you know what I'm saying? Vanilla ice cream is a classic. Like, it's so obvious. Like, why should I just sit up here and just say this? The dude is not good. The dude is not good. And you know what? So all these people that's talking about trying to reach back for Jameis, I ain't trying to hear that. Especially those individuals that was lobbying for Dalton. Nah, bro, let Dalton finish out the season. Let him go ahead and finish out the season. Let him go ahead and play his little heart out so Dennis Allen and him can hold hand in hand on their way out of New Orleans. Go ahead. Because here's the reality. You thrust Jameis Winston back into this lineup. All that's gonna happen is all these people that was out in the trees and that's right now probably not watching this show because they're trying to delete all the things they said about Dalton being good. What they're going to do is they're going to blame Jameis Winston if the season goes awry towards the end of the stretch. This is not Jameis Winston doing, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so at the end of the day, we can put this dude in, but why in the world? Like, honestly, if I'm Jameis Winston, I don't want to play. You know, my back hurts a little bit more this week than it has for the last 5 weeks that I've been sitting out. Seriously, my back is extreme. Like, it's hurting really bad. Like, it's to a point where I was thinking, man, I can't even get out of bed this morning. Nah, bro, y'all made the bed. Now go ahead and lie in it. Go ahead and lie in it, man. I support the New Orleans Saints for that quarterback decision. I'm like, I ain't nothing I can do about it. But don't try to go back and don't try to, go back and try to get the dude now. Like, I wouldn't play. I'm just being real. Like, if say it was like, man, TJ Jones, man, I don't think he want to play. You're probably right. You're probably right. Because at the end of the day, I'm not trying to have anybody blame me for the ineptitude. They ain't trying to blame me for what this team is right now. Let them play. Let them play, man. Because I want to see these people. Because like I said, they probably not here. Because the same ones that was inboxing me, and I got a plenty of them. And if I wanted to be petty, I would do a read-along here on the State of the Saints podcast about how wrong you are, TJ, about how you feel about certain things. And I mean, I'm talking about at the beginning of the season, before the season even started, when they was up there talking about Bobby Hebel's comments. My stance as far as Andy Dalton playing had nothing to do with I felt like he was better than Jameis. I just felt like, okay, if you want to go with these analytics, fine. But at the same time, look, you made your bed, not lie in it. It's just as simple as that. You made your bed, now go ahead, have yourself a good little slumber and sleep. I wouldn't play. I would not play. I'm telling you, as a quarterback, if you're telling me, man, I'm hurt right now, I don't think I can, I think I can play. I could try to. Nah, go ahead and sit down. Okay, look, if I sit down, well, I get my job back. I don't want this to be a quarterback controversy. No, get yourself all healed up. And then all of a sudden, here you go. Here you go with the BS, all right? Oh, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to go with Andy Dalton. The offense looks more efficient with Andy. Okay, look, take y'all efficient ass out there and play next week versus the Rams. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like, go ahead and be efficient. Go ahead and be efficient. Get a high percentage rate on third down. Get yourself into the goal line and trot out Will Lutz. Or take your conservative tails on out there, you know what I'm saying, punting on 4th and 1 when you at the 30-yard line. Because that's what, don't try to go back and do it now. You made your bed, now go ahead and lie in it. That's how I feel today. Now, I don't want, like, people like, man, let Jameis Winston start. Nah, bro. No. Nah, don't let him start. Let your boy Andy Dalton go out there and finish up the season, man. So once again, you and Andy Dalton can hold hand in hand. You know what I'm saying? Even Andy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can help him clean out his locker, and he can help you clean out your office, and y'all can just walk hand in hand to wherever next step that y'all have in life. I'm telling you, if I'm James, look, he called me not being a competitor, not tough, whatever. But the way that they did that, dude, the way that the first line of some level of prosperity happened and they pounced on it, you know what I'm saying, and not really looking at it, in the grand scheme of things, they were just quick to go with Andy Dalton, which pretty much tells us, regardless, that once again, they never wanted Jameis Winston in the first place. Like, I'm telling you, man, it's almost like watching Showtime at the Apollo and the person be like, where you from? I'm from Stamford, Connecticut. All right. What song you gonna sing? I'm gonna sing Whitney Houston, I Always Love You. Like, soon as they hit that first note, share my life. Boo! That's what it was with Jameis Winston. Soon as that boy hit that first note, okay, They ain't even allow him to be a little nervous or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Let the second stanza come in. Soon as they hit that first note, boo! That's what they did. The first line of trouble when it came to Jameis, they were quick to yank that man. So once again, you made your bed. Now go ahead and lie in it. All these Andy Dalton people out there that was lobbying before Jameis even took a snap, that was out there lobbying for him like late in games. It's your time to shine now. It's your time. It's your moment. Go ahead, man. Your moment to shine. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Hebert told me. Bobby Hebert said this. Bobby Hebert know what he talking about. And he do for the most part. Shouts out to Bobby. I love Bobby. Friend of the show. But people were like, man, he said this. He said this. Man, I was watching practice. Andy Dalton delivered 5 of 5 in the red zone. He was hot. Man, they need to go ahead and let Red Rifle. Need to go ahead and go with the rifle. Well, from the looks of it, it looks like the Red Rifle needs to go back to the pawn shop. They need to send a rifle back to Bass Pro Shop because it ain't it. But let them go ahead and finish the season. I'm all for it. I'm all for Andy Dalton finishing the season. Seriously. Jameis Winston too loyal. He gonna want to play, but he shouldn't. Yeah, he gonna want to play because it's an opportunity for him. It's an opportunity for him. But you basically kind of like, you're setting a man up for failure. You're basically setting him up for failure. Because all this gonna do is, because you don't have, like some fans are logical. The majority of them are logical. But you have that little small minority of fans who are basically going to blame Jameis Winston. Like if the season goes awry, if he goes out there and he doesn't play or it doesn't equate to wins, you know what people gonna do? Man, see, Jameis Winston, y'all told me he was the answer. Y'all told me he was the answer. They ain't gonna put it. They ain't gonna even realize and look at your boy. What he had? What? How many games did Andy Dalton start? 6. So he lost 5 out of 6 games. 5 out of 6. Am I wrong? He played 6 games, right? He started 6 games. He lost 5. 5 of them things. But let him keep playing. Keep on playing, folks. Let him play. I love it. You got to think Jarvis Landry came. He knew Winston was starting. Then we go with Dalton. Look, all I know is ain't nobody coming here to play for that. If you're a free agent and you watching this team, regardless if you get, you know what I'm saying, like, you know, time goes on and all that kind of stuff is the end of the season. Man, ain't nobody trying to come here to play for no Dennis Allen and his trash team. Seriously. Ain't nobody trying to play under no Dennis Allen. I wouldn't. Like, how many times do you need to see this dude fall flat on his face? How many times do you need to see this dude get out-coached for you to realize that he ain't the answer? There's no way in the world. Like, for the last 2 weeks, Dennis Allen has been out-coached by his opponent. Now, be that as it may, for the last 2 weeks, you played 2 Super Bowl winning coaches. But damn. Am I right? When Sean McVay rolled into town, he didn't have no championship. When Kyle Shanahan rolled into town, he ain't have no championship. This man, like, honestly, this looks like the legendary late, great Bobby Bowden coaching against, you know, Coach James Bell of Jackson State when I first got there, when they couldn't win nothing. That's what it looked like out there. This dude looks like he's in over his head. He looks like he just a deer in headlights. He looks as confused as a 4-year-old looking inside of a calculus class. This dude is not it. What the Saints need is a guy that's going to galvanize this team. What the Saints need right now is somebody that's going to lead this team out of the darkness into the light of the future that is, or what could be. Right now, y'all trying to hold on to what was. It's over. It's over. O-V-E-R. Or better yet, let's go street with it. O-V-A. It is over. Stop trying to hold on to what Drew Brees did. Stop trying to hold on to a Drew Brees offense. Stop trying to hold on to a Sean Payton coach team. Get these boys up out of here and find you a coach that's going to lead men, that's going to understand these young guys, and that's going to put these young players in position to succeed. Not an old lame duck coach that got his defense looking like slow. Your defense, the thing that got you the job in the first place, looks like trash. The side of the ball that got you the job, that got you the call, that got you the contract is looking like slow. Old, washed up, can't rush the quarterback type defensive ends. Bust on the line from left to right. Only person on the team for the most part that playing with any type of heart whatsoever is Demario Davis and Alontae Taylor. I mean, look, I already said it. He's a young guy. He's going to make mistakes. But at least he ain't quitting. Pre-game huddle looked like them boys just out there hovering around saying kumbaya at your local Boy Scout club meeting. You know what I'm saying? They got them boys out there looking like some Bluff Scouts. No fire, no nothing. The most energy I seen out there probably wasn't by both teams. It was actually by the damn Pigeons. The Pigeons probably did more on the field offensively in the first half than what the Saints did the entire game. This is sad, bro. This sad stuff right here. And we supposed to subject ourselves to this? We're supposed to understand this? I don't understand it. I don't. Look, I respect you giving it the old college try. They gave it the old college try. They gave it the college try. They tried to make something work. Now that you know that it's not working, it is time to move on before it's too late. If you double down on this decision, if you do the same thing next year, you're going to set yourself behind even more. Because looking at these teams, I'm telling you, when you look at the Falcons, y'all can laugh all you want to. Them boys about a quarterback away from really making some noise. The Carolina Panthers about a quarterback away from really making some noise. So I'm telling you, man, like between Tampa and the Saints, those teams everybody was supposed to quote unquote be the class of the division. They the ones that's going to be looking up at the division real soon. TJ, give some love to Cam Jordan. Some love. That dude don't quit. Well, yeah, I mentioned Cam Jordan too. Cam Jordan don't quit. But I'm just saying the overall energy of this team is just completely suspect. It's suspect. The boys ought to be ashamed of themselves by what they put out there on the field. Let's read some stats here. My goodness. Oh, man. I'm looking at these stats. I'm actually pretty decent game, man, between the Buffalo Bills and the Minnesota Vikings. Who knows? That might be a Super Bowl preview. Andy Dalton, 17 of 24, 174 yards, 6.4 average, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. So Andy Dalton, the guy that everybody was talking about, was supposed to be so careful with the football, yet again throws 2 interceptions. Alvin Kamara, 8 carries, 26 yards. Keep in mind that this game was 10-10 at the start of the second half. Then you have Juwan Johnson, 5 catches for 44 yards. Chris Olave, 3 catches for 40 yards. Jarvis Landry, 3 catches for 37 yards. Troutman, 2 catches for 22. Kamara, 3 catches for 19. Rashid Shaheed, 1 catch for 12 yards, which was a good one. Andy Dalton fumbled the ball twice, 2 times. Okay, both of them, you know what I'm saying, was recovered, but nevertheless. PJ Williams, 11 tackles, 11 total tackles. What that tell you right there? That means that the offense of the Pittsburgh Steelers was eaten because the safety is the what? The last line of defense. So if you are getting passes and they're catching passes and your safety is catching the ball and he's leading the team in tackles, tells you everything you need to know. Demario Davis with 8 tackles, Malcolm Roach was 7. Tyrann Mathieu was 7, another safety. Caden Ellis, who played really well, I'm going to give him his credit. He had 7 total tackles. He had 3 solo, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, a quarterback hit, and he had a forced fumble, to be honest with you, but it ended up going back to Pittsburgh. Then you had Paulson Adebo, who, man, what in the world was going on with Paulson Adebo? He had 6 tackles. I mean, he had 2 crucial penalties, was out there getting work left and right. Alontae Taylor, who was victims of penalties himself, but he had 6 tackles, including one of those vicious hits. Carl Granderson with a half of a sack. Cam Jordan with a half of a sack. Tano Passanio with a sack. You got Emmanuel Yamato with a sack. And Chris Harris Jr., who had a pass deflection, almost had an interception. Even he had a sack as well. So those are your stats right there. Notice you didn't hear much out of Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill, let me see. Taysom Hill had 3 carries for a yard, and then he threw a pass. So that's about 4 touches. That's about 4 touches for Taysom Hill. One of the most electrifying football players in all of football only had 4 touches. This, Lord have mercy. TJ, what's our 3 weakest positions? 3 weakest positions right now are the offensive line, the defensive line, and the secondary. Those are our weakest. Like, I can't even say linebackers because for the most, like Caden, like Pete Warner, we missed him today, but did Caden Ellis make you miss Pete Warner? No. I mean, he had a good play in coverage. He had like I said, he had a forced fumble, even though, it was picked up by Pittsburgh. He had a sack. So, and also Demario Davis, I mean, we seen that, the way he shot through the gap to tackle Najee Harris for a loss, like those guys are flying. Like, if anything, like the linebackers, it's crazy because at the beginning of the season, we thought the linebackers was going to be the weakest position, but they turned out to be one of the best positions. Man, this like, I just want to know, what in the world is Dennis Allen looking at that he thinks that this team has improved? Improved in what? Like, what are they improved in? What's one thing that you've seen out of this football team that you can say they improved in? What is it? Now, I know I don't understand football as much as him. He's been coaching and being on the sideline for years. But what on this team have you seen that has improved? This man talking like, man, we so close. No, y'all not. Close to what? Like, what are you close to? Like, we close to what? What are y'all doing? What is he talking about? We close. Close to what? Man, like, this dude is delusional, man. And he just sitting up there like, man, like, I don't know. Like, are you really just mad, or you just happy that you get opportunity? You know what I'm saying? Now your wife can go to a Bridge Club meeting or, you know what I'm saying, and be able to go out there, you know what I'm saying, have fun with her friends and talk about how you a head coach, right? Or because you know what I'm saying, you can, they call your family and they be like, okay, I need some tickets at will call. Like, what are we doing? Like, man, this man had no fire, no swag, no drip, no nothing. Man, I'm tired of talking about this clown, man. I'm opening up the line for people, you know what I'm saying? If y'all want to chime in, feel free to do so. I really appreciate, everybody being here. I ask that you hit the like button. If you enjoy the show, hit the like button. Shouts out to all the Saints fans out there. I'm really, really sorry that you had to sit through this nonsense. Man, this is bad. This is bad stuff right here. Like, this is really, really bad. If the Saints were fighting hard, if they was battling, like they was scratching, biting, and clawing, well, we can say, man, I'm proud of this team. I'm proud of my team. I'm proud of my squad today. I'm telling you, for the last 2 weeks, the Saints have looked like they don't need to be nowhere near an NFL football field. That's how bad they look. It's bad business, man. It's bad business. All right, we're gonna go to Keenan Arthur. Keenan Arthur, how you doing, man?
What's that, moment? I ain't gonna take too much of your time because I'm out here by these airplanes. But the way it feels, the Saints need to take a plane back to somewhere, back to camp or something. Because somebody asked you, TJ, what's the weakest position we got on this team? The weakest position is head coach, you hear me? Period, point blank. That's the weakest position. Yep. Because We 3-7. The team is undisciplined, and we look like we don't belong on a football field at all. From what I'm seeing, I don't even get to see the game sometimes, but I'll be looking at Bleacher Report to see the little play-by-play. Them boys don't belong on the football. Like, it's bad when mediocre teams can come out and look like Alabama against an FCS team against you. It's horrible, bro. I'm tired of looking at this. I want us to go after Tyler Huntley or give Jameis Winston 100%. I mean, a full opportunity at 100%. But like you said, if I was Jameis, I damn sure wouldn't come back this season. Excuse my French, but I wouldn't come back this season.
I wouldn't come back either. Look, you made your bed, not lying it. That's how I feel about it. You made your bed, lying it. So how you just basically told this man he ain't got nothing to worry about, just to try to put his mind at ease so you can go ahead and stick the knife into his back. You know what I'm saying? Like, live with the decision.
Right.
You know? Live with the decision. That's all I gotta say, man. So you got anything else?
Outside of that, bro, I don't know. I just want to know what you think we would be able to have to give up to get Tyler Huntley from the Ravens. If you're not gonna be so, if the team don't want to do nothing with Jameis Winston.
Well, no, they don't have to give up anything for Tyler Huntley. All they have to do is Tyler Huntley is a restricted free agent after this year. So that
Just
means
make him an offer?
if you make him an offer, as long as Baltimore don't want to counter offer that, then the Saints can get him. So they don't have to give up anything for him. I'm just saying, like, if you're not going to be aggressive, if you're not going to get a quarterback in the draft, or there's a guy that you're not very interested in, I say go that route. I mean, you got some guys out there that still got some stuff to give you. Now, I still feel like you need to draft a quarterback. I do. But you do your due diligence. If that quarterback's not ready by the beginning of the season, you allow him to sit, and you bring another guy in that could be considered a bridge quarterback. That's the way I feel about it.
Good. I got you, bro. But
yeah,
I guess what's the likelihood that happened though? What's the likelihood that we actually go after him?
I think it's a strong possibility. I think it's a strong possibility. I mean, the dude is good enough to be a starting quarterback in the league. And, I just feel like whoever is the coach, it depends. It also depends on that decision as well. So hopefully they get themselves an offensive coach, a guy that's knowledgeable and also can help a quarterback see the field. So whoever the coach is, I just feel like that's probably going to be the deciding factor, because, heck, they might end up like getting a guy that they love in a draft, and they might end up signing somebody that's like maybe like a bridge quarterback until the other guy develops and becomes the franchise quarterback.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna let you go, big dog. But at this point, I kind of had a feeling we was gonna lose to Pittsburgh, so it is what it is, dog. I'm riding with my team, but I don't expect nothing from us this season, to be honest with you.
Yeah, not at all, man. Keen Arthur, I appreciate it, man. Thank you for calling in.
You know it. Who that?
I mean, we just look at, man, I just look at this team, like I said, mere shell of itself. The Minnesota Vikings getting a victory over the Buffalo Bills in overtime, man. Josh Allen throws an interception like late in the red zone in overtime with about a minute and some change left. That's a huge win for the Minnesota Vikings. So Minnesota, man, they looking like they're the real deal. Might end up getting that 1 seed. If Philadelphia slip up down the stretch, should be interesting, man. Thomas, thank you very much for the 499. Says DA has never taken accountability for this team's play, so how can he lead us anywhere? Hey, that man couldn't lead us to the water in a boat. I keep telling y'all this. This man couldn't lead you to the trash can. You know what I'm saying? Like at a junkyard. Like seriously, this dude ain't it. I just feel bad for the people that think the light just gonna come on and then Dennis Allen just gonna become Bill Parcells or something. I always said from the start that the Saints should be all in on Tyler Huntley. I said this since week 3 of the season. He is the same prototype of Watson, who the Saints wanted from the start. You get a guy like Huntley and you get yourself a quarterback whisperer, a guy that's an offensive innovator, and watch how this team flourish. Like this team is scared to throw the ball 20 yards down the field. What does that tell you right there? What's been an argument for the last 2 seasons? Oh, the Saints, like I say about 3-4 seasons. Well, the Saints can't get the ball down the field. They don't even try to throw the ball 20 yards unless it's desperation time. And I keep telling you, Andy Dalton is playing so he can play next week. He's not playing to win the game. He is just trying to survive and live to fight another day. And he's playing like it. It's pretty obvious here. All right, we're gonna go to Jerry. Jerry, how you doing, man?
How you doing, TJ?
I'm doing all right, man. What you got for us?
Well, I just want to make a public service announcement. Shouts out to all the Who Dat Nations out there in the chat. Same to you, TJ. This is a public service announcement. The way this season is going this year is highly pathetic. Sitting at 3-7 is an embarrassment. Dennis Allen is not a good head coach. He needs to be fired. Or, in other words, no longer be the head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Because it is depressing every week to see this team that we all know that like to beat up folks and win games. And now here we are sitting at 3-7. And it's a total, complete embarrassment, TJ. It is a total, complete embarrassment to watch this team week after week try to do all they can to win a game. And it's highly pathetic to see us Saints fans suffer the same fate that we're dealing with right now.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, TJ, I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing to say about this team. I'm going to still ride with this team to the day I die. But as of right now, this team 100% suck. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, you get no ands, ifs, or buts about it. They suck.
Yeah.
As of right now. And that, TJ, is my public service announcement.
Yeah, I mean, look, that's a great PSA, but I think it's pretty obvious that everybody knows that this team isn't good, and it's depressing, man. Honestly, like I don't. It's crazy to feel this way, and I thought that I would never be feeling like this when it comes to the Saints, and it's been a while since I felt like this. But honestly, man, I don't care. Like I really don't care like how this season turns out. Like I'm man,
dude.
Playoffs is wishful thinking. I mean, honestly, I feel like that didn't already ran out. So I'm honestly, my highlight, my playoffs begin at the end of the season. When you know what I'm saying, when Black Monday comes,
the playoff begin right now.
Man, look,
it ain't gonna get no better.
Now the playoffs is to me, my playoffs, my Super Bowl is when they fire this clown. Like that's my Super Bowl right there. Like for real,
yes.
That's worth more than a playoff. Like I'm telling you, I will look at the Saints and be okay with them losing every game for the rest of the season if that means he's not on the sidelines. I'm so serious, man. Like this dude is terrible, awful. Like this dude got this team looking like some straight up punks, soft. Like I understand that the AFC North
tissue, bro.
Jerry, I understand the AFC North is a physical division. Like you got Baltimore and Pittsburgh in there. But bruh, these boys looking like some straight up wounded dogs out there, bruh. Like wounded puppies. You know what I'm saying? Some maimed animals out in the safari. Like they just be getting ate up. Like this team. Like, man, did you hear like the commentary? They said the Pittsburgh Steelers didn't have a 20-yard rush all season. That's 10 weeks into the season.
Until today.
And they allowed 3 of them. 4 if you add the one towards the end of the game to run the timeout. Man, it is, bro. Man, get this bum on my sidelines, man.
And bro, and let me say this, TJ, because I know somebody else getting ready to come on, but shouts out to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They played good. The Saints just completely hot garbage.
Garbage.
I got no issue with the Pittsburgh Steelers because
at all.
I have family members and friends that are Pittsburgh Steelers. I just got calls and texts and emails and stuff. I just told them good game.
Yep.
And y'all deserve to win, and they deserve to win that game because we didn't. And let me say this, TJ, and I'm gonna get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna still ride with this New Orleans Saints team, whether they do good or whether they do bad, whether they win or they lose, playoffs or not. I'm still gonna ride with this New Orleans Saints team because that's who I am.
Yeah.
And I'm sure everybody in the chat in the same feeling I am, in the same way with you, TJ, because I mean, we seen what this team can do.
Mm-hmm.
We seen what this team can do, TJ.
Yep.
And I'm tired. And like you say, the only thing that's gonna make me and everybody else happy was when I hear the breaking news saying we just received breaking news that the New Orleans Saints fired Dennis Allen as head coach.
Yep.
That would be our old happy day on that day if that happened.
That's my Super Bowl right there, Jerry. I'm telling you, that's my Super Bowl. I'm so serious right now. That's my Super Bowl. If that come across my phone, like that's my Super Bowl. But
that's gonna be a great day, a lovely day. Like rest in peace, Bill Weathers.
Yep.
Lovely day.
It's gonna be a lovely day for a lot of people. But Jared, thank you so much, man. I appreciate the call and call back anytime, man. I appreciate it.
Will do, TJ. You have yourself a blessed week. And everybody have a blessed week in the chat. I love you all.
All right, man. You take it easy, man.
You too, man. Take care.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's gonna be a happy day for me. That's my playoff. Thomas, thank you very much for 499. Says even Bobby Hebert just called for Jameis. You know it's bad. Wow. Who would be the interim coach? Look, that will be like I'll be shocked if there's an interim coach. I would be shocked. Like honestly, I would be shocked if there's an interim coach. I think they'll let him get to the end of the season, but I don't know, man. I look. It's pretty obvious if you're a Saints fan what needs to be done. Like I think we all understand the assignment, but we'll see, man. Like we'll see what Mickey gonna do. Prime, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, my brother. I'm doing good.
Yeah, what you got for us, man?
I got a few things to say from my PSA. Pretty shit ass coach. PSA. You know what Allen reminds me of? I've been teaching for 28 years. He reminds me of that student that I give an open notebook test to and still fails it.
Yeah,
that's who he reminds me of. You had all these offensive players, you had all this potential, but you just squandered it away. And like I tell my students, when you fail an open book test, that just shows that either you just don't give a damn or you just don't have it because I'm trying to be nice. I'm just trying to be nice.
Yeah, I don't think he got it, man. I mean,
you are what you are, bro. You are what you are. You had all this talent handed to you, and you 3-7. He has lost this team. And for all those Jameis haters out there, shut your asses up, sit your asses down. You don't know squat about football. I've been a Saints fan since 1970. Even when it was wearing the bags, I'm not wearing the bag. I'm not wearing the bag. Only cowards, that's the coward way to do it, go out to wear a bag. I've been a fan since 1970. And I'm going to tell you right now, Jameis could be the quarterback this team needs for at least the next couple of years if they give him the right coach. And I think you was talking on your last broadcast about injuries. There's this guy, I don't know if you ever heard him, there's this brother. He's not a Saints fan, but he talks about the NFL. His name is Zener, I think his name is. But he the one that read the article with the interview with Jameis on his show. Right. And there's a report that says that there are 14 stadiums in the NFL with bad turf. And tell you, guess which stadium is one of them?
You talking about New Orleans?
Yep, the Superdome.
Hmm.
And look at it, Michael Thomas. Look at all these ankle, pull muscle, feet, knee injuries, these leg injuries. It
Hmm.
has to be that turf. They need to do something about that turf. So
Hmm.
because that's too consistent of what's been going on. I was mad at Michael, but after I heard that brother saying that, I'm like, okay, now I can see. I can see turf toe and pull muscle and knee problems and because you playing on a subpar field. I could
Hmm.
see that.
Right.
But as far as these Jameis haters, look, my thing is Jameis is a very positive young brother, and I think he's still a good quarterback. And I feel strongly he still could do good for us if we get the right coach. People, PSA, Dennis Allen is going to be this coach for the rest of the year,
Mm-hmm.
and Dalton, the Red BB gun, is going to be the starting quarterback for the rest of the year.
Hmm.
Because at this point, if I was James, I wouldn't even play for you. Because you made me look bad, and you're telling people I'm not injured. I think I told you on one of the last shows I talked to you. His injuries is more serious than when people put it on because I did the research. It takes 6 to 10 weeks to heal your back. Now he got this pulled ligament in his foot. That's another 6 weeks. So
Hmm.
once you shut this man down, put him on IR, and let him heal up. And all these people talking about, well, Jameis, I didn't hear y'all talking this shit about Jameis last year
Hmm.
when he went 5-2, and he was starting to get that offense, and he was throwing check down passes. Because if you remember in that Green Bay game, it was a check down wheel route pass that he threw to Alvin Kamara for one of the touchdowns last year.
Hmm.
And if you remember this year, according to the article, Jameis said he shouldn't have played that Tampa Bay game. But Jameis did not lose that Tampa game. Jameis didn't fumble the ball. Who fumbled the ball?
Ingram did.
Jameis didn't lose that Carolina ball. Who fumbled the ball?
Man, I feel like, okay, if you're talking about interceptions, and stuff like that, and you're gonna try to use those interceptions to bench Jameis, then what are we doing with Andy Dalton right now?
Same
Right?
thing, my brother. Because the same brother I'm telling you about, he's out of Oakland, and he said that PFF did some research on them 30 interceptions that Jameis supposedly threw. PFF reported after their research saying only 16 of them was really on Jameis.
Hmm.
Because I looked at those interceptions. You had people running the wrong routes, balls bouncing out of their hand, and you got the red BB gun throwing a long bomb to Olave, and they're gonna throw Olave under the bus for not catching it. Man, he threw the ball short. He floated it.
Yep. Olave
And
was in front of his guy. If you would have put the ball out there in front of him, it's two things would have happened. It's rather he gonna try to make a play, or the ball would have went through his hands. But when you got these dudes out here with a 50-50 ball, they got to climb the ladder. Like, you making it harder than what it have to be.
exactly.
And it's pretty much like it's pretty much over when you got Kevin White out there, with a 50-50 ball on the line. Like, why is Kevin White out there? What happened with Callaway? Like, did Callaway miss curfew or something? Like, did he make somebody upset? Like, I don't know, man.
Well, I'm gonna say this is one other thing. Now, I've been watching football since 1970. I've been a Saints fan since 1970.
Mhm.
I remember when you have a team that's good lateral, like Pittsburgh defense is and Tampa Bay defense is, you run right at them. Or when they got a real good pass rush, what happened to 5 and 10 yard crossing patterns?
Hmm.
I don't see those being used in this offense. This
Man,
offense
I think
reminds me of Carl Smith offense.
I think you need to what I think you need to do is you need to just move on. I like they trying to hold on to Drew Brees and Sean Payton in the days of yesteryear.
Exactly, it's done.
Rather it comes in a form of the offensive play calling, or rather it comes in the form of a coaching. Look, you can't reinvent the wheel as much as you want to. You can't do that. So you might as well just keep it moving and try to come up with different ways, new quarterback, new scheme. You know what I'm saying? Like, new coach. Like, you have to basically make this a brand new team and stop trying to hold on to the days of the past when Sean Payton was here, because he's not coming back and neither is Drew Brees. So
Drew Brees is too old to come back. And you see, you see, I moved from New Orleans 22 years ago to Houston to teach in Houston. And I'm gonna tell you, I love my birth city, but one of the biggest things I hate about my birth city, our birth city, is they hold on to shit for too long
Man,
because
you ain't lying.
there's potholes in the same streets. I'll be 60 years old in February. There's potholes in the same street that I used to ride my bike around 40 years ago.
Yep.
20 years ago, because this was my 42-year reunion. No, 40 years ago. Same potholes, same streets. People in New Orleans need to stop holding on to shit too damn long. Peyton is not coming back. And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't care where you go, but I would be surprised if Scotia staff goes with him to San Diego, because Peyton did some bad shit people don't seem to forget. He the one that didn't want to draft your boy that's now quarterback for Baltimore.
Yep.
He the one that gave up 2 first-round picks for 2 defensive linemen that we hardly ever see on the goddamn field consistently. What them two? The boy that got 2 years ago from
Peyton Turner and Marcus Davenport.
That was 2 wasted draft picks, first-round draft picks. That's on Peyton. Also, everybody want to talk about Breeze's second to last year, but my thing is, this on your last year, you was talking about racism. You don't want to pull a racism card. But I think what people trying to say is that this has nothing to do with them going after your boy in Cleveland. But when you had Teddy Two Gloves went 5-0, and they hurry up and rush Breeze back. Why not let that boy stay in a couple of more games for Breeze to really get better? That's what extended Breeze's season that year, when he could sit out for 5 games. They should have kept Teddy in for the duration until he was really, really healthy. Because let me tell you right now, Breeze pushed those last 2 years. He really pushed those last. He wanted another ring so bad. He pushed it. He really pushed it. And you see now, the organization about to pay the piper because you got all this dead money in these contracts. Look, this is called the rest of this year rebuilding year. Dennis Allen is not going anywhere. The Red BB gun is going to be a starter. Shut Jameis down, because you're not doing Jameis right. Jameis is not healthy. Don't expect Jameis. Oh, now you want to call for Jameis. Now Bobby Abe, I want to call for Jameis. F you, Bobby. Help you, Bobby Boucher. You was talking all that stuff in training camp about, don't look good, and Jameis really wasn't healthy, because I'm gonna tell you, I'm not mad at the Saints losing, because I thought they was gonna lose 24-17. I'm not mad at them losing. I know this season is done. It's over with. I don't care about winning the division or none of that. Let's play through, and people making excuses. Well, there's a lot of injuries. Wasn't there a lot of injuries last year? Who was our top 3 starting wide receivers? Callaway and 2 other people, and Jameis went 5-2 without Michael Thomas, without Olave, without the boy Landry. So all you Jameis haters, sit your asses down and shut the hell up. You don't know nothing about football, because I'm gonna tell you right now, TJ, I'm like this. Like I tell my students, sometimes people are gonna hate you, but you never did them anything. And that's what I think some of these Jameis haters are. This man has never done it. For you to hate somebody so bad and with somebody to fall on their face and not have success, and they never done anything to you, you the one with the problem. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I agree. There's a lot of people that had issues with Jameis before he even took a snap, and all of it was just based on, what he did in Tampa. And some people are still holding on to what he did in Tampa. And, like I said, I just think that people, didn't really want him to begin with. So,
exactly.
Hating on somebody just to hate on them simply, I feel like that's wrong.
I don't hate on people that didn't do me any wrong. That's the way I was raised, growing up in the Ninth Ward. Because I grew up on Congress Street, right around Nichols, which they call now, they changed the name to Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I'm from.
I went to Douglas my 9th grade year.
And I'm gonna tell you,
Before I graduated from Carver. Yeah, I went there.
because you see, I went across the street for elementary school at George Washington.
Washington. Yep, Washington, right across the street. Yep.
Because we originally started in the 7th ward, then we moved to the 9th ward.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, bro. I enjoy your show. I enjoy Big Q show. I support all you brothers as much as possible.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, me and a fraternity brother had an argument about who's the bigger fan. He's not from New Orleans, but he lives in Dallas right now from Shreveport. And he was telling me a bigger fan because he got season tickets. I said, bro, it ain't about the season tickets. I was trying to explain it, my friend brother, my line brother of all things, because I pledged for Sigma in fall of '83 at Southern in Baton Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
And like I tell them, just because you got season tickets, all that, you don't realize growing up in New Orleans and being a Saints fan, the Saints has an emotional tie and relationship with the city. Because you know when the Saints do bad in the city, everybody's down.
Mm-hmm.
It just messes with everybody's psyche. But you see, there was another story out there about Jameis, about him and some white girl and blah, blah, blah. But the same dude I'm telling you about, showed the report is she had sex with a now boyfriend and Jameis on the same night, but was trying to make it look that Jameis had did her something. And this thing about the crab legs, everybody get to hook up. I know you got to hook up in some restaurants before because you knew people.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
get over it with this bold stupidity. But I'm telling you, bro, Dylan Allen ain't going nowhere. And those people who want it, Ray BB gun hit, die on it. Don't put Jameis in now. No, don't think. No. You die on that hill. You die on that hill. And if for some stretch of the imagination that they let this man stay on next year as head coach, like Big Q was saying, we don't want to go through the Matt Rule shit that the Carolina fans went to for 3 years.
I'll tell you. Look, Prime, I can tell you what's about to happen. I'm about to tell you. I can tell you what's gonna happen. I guarantee you, like you're gonna have some Saints fans boycotting the rest of these games for the rest of the season because they're gonna want Dennis Allen gone. I guarantee you.
That's what Big Q is saying right now.
They're gonna boycott the games. People ain't gonna be, man. People ain't worried, man. You got people that's gonna, like my grandpa called them, people that's lost. You're gonna have people that's lost out here going back to church. I might as well find God because we ain't gonna find the playoffs. You know, like that's the reality, man. Ain't nobody trying to watch this stuff right here. You know, like, man, you can be doing something. Like I hate going to Hobby Lobby and, you know what I'm saying, and Home Goods with my wife. But guess what? I might have to take that ride. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. Anybody be wasting my time. Like that's how people feel.
Yeah,
like,
bro,
you know, they gotta do better, man.
They got to do better, bro. Jameis can be the future of this team at least 4 years until you draft a young quarterback in 2 years, because you're not going to get him next year because we don't have the draft capital. So Jameis is only 28. So, and I know there's some Taysom Hill. Shit, even put Taysom Hill out there to finally shut these Taysom Hill people who think Taysom Hill is a starting quarterback. Taysom Hill is in his late 34. So you got two guys that are 34 and 33 respectively, I guess, that's going to be 34 and 35 next year. For you to expect them to be your franchise quarterback, boy, that must be some good weed you're smoking. I want some of that shit. I want some of that shit. Because they don't know how to coach. They don't know how to coach Jameis. And you see, you see, Dennis Allen, like I told you, he reminded me of that student of an open book note test. And it looked bad when Kamara came out 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago saying that about the false snaps. Why the hell are you having false starts in your own stadium? Come on, man. Really? Crowd noise?
Yeah.
And you having the same thing. You had it happen at the end. I could see that in the Pittsburgh game because you playing away. But for you to lose to a Pittsburgh team that was really bad with a rookie quarterback who was trying to give you the game, I'm going to tell you, I'm not mad at the defense because you don't have 2 games now where the defense was on the field at least 30 to 40 minutes, bro. You know you get tired, bro, when you're on the field that damn long.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with you, man. I mean, Prime, you made some interesting points, man. Man, I don't know exactly what they can do to try to turn this thing around that don't involve Dennis Allen getting the hell up out of town. But like I said, I mean, if I'm Jameis Winston, I'm not playing no more. I'm shutting it down, bro. Like
Do like
they
Michael
did that.
Thomas did.
They did that boy dirty, and even with Michael Thomas, I mean, you have to feel like they have some validity behind that because I want to say Josh Allen. They had a report about Josh Allen playing today, and he went through like he had conversations with the Bills medical staff as well as outside staff, and I think Michael Thomas was like, "That's the way you should do it." Well, it seemed like to me like they have an issue with the medical staff. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these guys aren't playing or trying to battle through it because they don't trust the medical staff. That's what it seemed like to me because I'm like,
Yeah,
I've never seen so many injuries and guys not trying to battle through it. It seemed like guys are making business decisions because I don't know if what happened with Michael Thomas got that in the back of everybody's mind, or it's the fact, like I said, they just don't trust the medical staff after how they just botched the whole Michael Thomas situation. Well, regardless, man, it don't seem like there's a trust between the Saints and their players. So I think it's time for you to kind of, keep it moving. But Prime, I got to go ahead and let you go, man.
All right, let me say one more thing. Wait, let me say one more thing.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping and praying that Miss Benson does the right thing at the end of the season with this coaching staff, because I don't want her to turn into the woman that used to own the Rams when it was in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia Frontiere, I think her name was. Man, she set the Rams back years after her husband died and the team fell up. I hope Miss Benson will pull this on with this fan base, because this is the best fan base in the league, and nobody can question me about that.
Yeah.
But my brother, you have a perfect day. Look, I know you know what I'm gonna do to not be upset about this game. I'm a gamer, and I'm about to go online and play Diablo Immortal and kill me some demons and some monsters.
Yeah, it sounds good to me, man. Yeah, get your mind off this game, man. I'm about to go have, probably go play some Scrabble or some Parcheesi with my wife or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there you go.
Get this old like shoot, man. Get this loss out of my mind. But Prime, thank you so much, man. Appreciate the call.
All right.
Yeah, that was great insight right there, man. I didn't want to interrupt him. I didn't want to interrupt him. He was making some valid points, and the whole thing about Jameis Winston, you can say that, Jameis, you might have a problem with him and, he's turning the ball over, but the guy that a lot of people chose, and wanted to be, the quarterback in the first place isn't doing much better than what a lot of people said Jameis was doing. So for entertainment purposes, for the majority of the show, I decided that I was going to wear this Black Panther mask because I'm pretty sure like this show, we talking about the Saints, ain't much to really, brag or boast about. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing much to brag about. Ain't very entertaining, especially watching these boys play. So thought I'd, wear this Black Panther mask for the rest of the show, just to keep it entertainment. If anybody is in this chat vouching for Dalton, you lost your damn mind. I will read this like the Black Panther. If anybody is in the chat voting for Dalton, you have lost your damn mind, eh? You have lost your mind. If you think that Andy Dalton is the answer for what is going on with the Saints, you are losing your damn mind. You've heard this from the Black Panther. Let's see, medical staff, another problem on Loomis. Yeah, man, get these guys up out of here. Get them out of here. I am tired of this. I am tired of watching my New Orleans Saints team continuously wet their bed every single week. Dennis Allen is an embarrassment of epic proportions when it comes to the New Orleans Saints. It is embarrassing to watch a team with so much potential squander it at the hands of an inept coach. Let's see. Loomis is a bottom 5 GM right now. Shoot, bottom 5, and he at the bottom.
Aaron Rodgers' 58-yard touchdown pass was beautiful, says Lee Honchu. I wish we had a quarterback that can throw the ball past 20 yards, but of course, the Saints do not have a quarterback that can produce such passes. You had Jameis Winston, who was capable of doing these passes. However, Dennis Allen decided that he'd rather bring in a quarterback who can't throw the ball past 15 yards. What an embarrassment. Absolutely embarrassing. Nobody trusts New Orleans as a whole. Look at what happened with Katrina. I would not go there as far as using a natural disaster to describe a team in New Orleans. Okay, I would not do that. However, I will say that they have looked like a train wreck since the season started under Dennis Allen. Hire Sean for GM. Ivan, I do not think that Sean Payton would want to coach a team when he has the capabilities of actually being a head coach, and you would want him to be a head coach. However, if he decides to be a GM in the years in the future, when he decides to no longer be on the sidelines, I would love to have him as our head coach. Ain't enough vibranium to help us. There's always enough vibranium in Wakanda. The Saints just have not found any yet. Let's see. Strolling down. Piano Dean, thank you very much. Thank you very much for the $5 donation. Says these boys are making the Dicker Saints look good. Well, I cannot tell the difference. I'm not sure if Mike Dicker is on the sidelines or Dennis Allen. They both are terrible, and they both do not need to be the coach of this team. Y'all still talking about the team? It is an absolute joke. A joke. I wish we had a quarterback that can complete quarterback passes without it being a grounder. Yeah, they throw more passes to the ground. If the ground was a completion percentage, the Saints would lead the league in completions. Taysom would be better if Winston and Dalton, if you ask me, and more fun. Yes, I will agree, Joey, that this team is very, very, very boring. They're boring and they're not very exciting to watch. And Taysom is a great quarterback. He can do so many great things. However, I feel you need to use him at the tight end position, even though Dennis Allen lied again by putting a guy who he said that he wanted to be a tight end. And he turned him into the same thing he played last season, being less productive. Dennis Allen is a liar. He is a liar, and the truth is not in him. Go get Frank Reich. I am a big fan of Frank Reich. He is a great coach. However, I think that he may end up in Carolina due to the fact that he has family in North Carolina. His grandkids are there. His daughter is there. His family is there. And he may want to be close to them by coaching the Carolina team. That is my take. But I will take Frank Reich in a minute. Will Miss Benson and Loomis fire DA? If they wanted fans to continue to come to the game, if they want their team to continue to prosper the way they have for the last decade and a half, then I would feel that they need to fire DA. DA is not the answer to any of the questions the New Orleans Saints have. But I do know that Dennis Allen needs a classifying in his hand on Monday morning because he may need it. I believe Chick-fil-A is hiring. And I guarantee you, they love to clean up around there. Great, great restaurant. Great people, very polite. So maybe they need the cleanup aspect what DA has. How the defense that was counted on as a strength now is a weakness. Yes, Paul, they are a great weakness to the team. But like Prime said when he called in, he asked the question, how do you expect the defense to improve and be good and be better if the offense cannot generate third downs or score in red zone? So no, the defense only can do so much at this time, but the undisciplined play is very, very alarming to me. Tulane should beat the Saints right now. I don't know. I'm happy for the Tulane Green Wave. I've been fan of the Tulane Green Wave for a very, very long time, and I feel that this team is going to be a really good bowl team, and I want to see them continue to go down the path of prosperity. We have to get rid of Loomis, but DA, he ain't firing him, just like DA isn't sitting the Red Rooster down. I believe his name is Red Rifle, even though I heard that he's been shooting blacks for the last 2 weeks. LSU going to the SEC championship game. At least one of the team's winnings the next time LSU loses a game will be the next time the Saints win. I don't know if anyone noticed that trend, but I have. Tyra, I have noticed that trend as well, even though this is not a hard trend to do, because it seems the Saints lose every single week. And it seems like they get absolutely terrible even more every single week. So saying LSU win and the Saints lose, and saying that's a coincidence, that's not very hard to do because the Saints suck. Kevin, I've argued, even picked up that statue in off season. I ain't never said that about this ish. I don't know what that means. Okay, you are using language that is not a part of the English vocabulary. However, I do feel that you have a very good point. So I'm going to give you an opportunity to revise or use T9 and do it over again. Can we start a Fire Dennis Allen campaign? TJ has started this campaign, and by TJ, I mean me. I have started this campaign for weeks. People have said I've done it too prematurely. People have said I don't know what I'm talking about. People have said, man, TJ, he needs to go sit down somewhere. YouTube channels were even made for talking about some of my takes that I have made about DA. But you know what? Laugh now. You made those comments. Let me hear you now. Let me hear you justify bringing Dennis Allen back. I want to hear that. And I guarantee you, I won't. And do you know why? Eh? Because Dennis Allen is a clown. Hey, TJ, who is Harpo? I do not know who Harpo is. However, I enjoyed the color purple, and I enjoyed Sophia and so many other people on there, okay? It was funny when Oprah Winfrey hit Wade Dog Chong into the sea. DA got to go, or see how bad it gets worse and worse. No creativity. The need to evolve as season goes along. He's genetic and juvenile high school ball. I do not want to disrespect great high school teams like the great John Curtis teams or the Rumble Raiders back in the day. I will not try to justify Dennis Allen's coaching ability and compare it to great high school teams. I do feel like DA is a more of a coordinator than a head coach. It's okay to not be a head coach. We need coordinators as well to be able to win games. He is just not a guy that is a leader of me. I will read two more in this voice here, and then I will go back to my American accent and talk the way that God has given me the ability to talk. Let's see. Let's go to Gorilla. Gorilla Man. Gorilla Man. Gorilla Man. Gorilla Man says, if Dalton was an offensive performance decision, now that the offense is not productive, wouldn't that same logic constitute a change at quarterback? Of course it could, Gorilla Man. But the problem is, Gorilla Man, will Jameis Winston try to put himself first, or will he try to put the team first? He has always been a team guy. But what do you do when the team does not look out for you? And you have to look out for yourself. Dennis Allen has made the bed. Now he must lie in it. He must lie in the bed of ineptitude and stupidity, a place he has been since week 1. And finally, to end this will be Kevin. He says, TB gonna take off. Now they have their hero back, so we ain't going nowhere. Well, I don't even think it took Tom Brady coming back or dealing with the issues with his wife for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win the division. They were just better, and they had a little bit better at quarterback than every other team in the South. Now it seems as if they are going to run away with it because the New Orleans Saints are a terrible football team. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is comments and questions read by T'Challa. Yeah, man. At the end of the day, Tampa Bay is probably going to win this division. They're going to win this division. They're probably going to go ahead and run away with it. But at the end of the day, folks, this is a bad football team. So it doesn't surprise me at all. It doesn't surprise me at all, man. So go ahead and read some more of these comments. Jameis Winston needs to put himself first. This team is certainly proven they won't do it. That's right, Barbara. They will not put the man first. They will not put Jameis Winston first. So sometimes you gotta be a little selfish. Some people get mad at Michael Thomas for picking himself first, but you got to do that sometimes if a team not gonna do it for you. Let's see. Hey, TJ, Dennis Allen is smoking Krizak just like Lil Dude off lean on me, don't he? He's smoking crack. Look at me, man. Do he smoke crack? I think you want to be like this. You smoke crack, don't you? Don't you hear me, boy? Don't you smoke crack? Don't you know what it does to you, son? It kills your brain cells, son. It kills your brain cells. It make you feel like you're a head coach when you're really a defensive coordinator. So if you're going to be a head coach and you're going to fail, do it expeditiously. Jump. I don't want to jump, sir. I don't want to jump. I'm going to go back on my word this one time. But if you do anything else, you out of here. He done enough. He needs to get out of here. Let's see. If I am Jameis, I'm shutting down the season. Yeah, I'm done. I'm done. You know, you would not call me up at 2:00 in the morning talking about I'm coming over. Nah, you ain't gonna do that to me. Nobody can run the ball with trash O-line, TJ. They can't run. They can't pass. You know, like they can't catch. 50-50 balls are non-existent. So as far as I'm concerned, like we could come up, oh man, the O-line. Like I seen the Saints play like trash with a whole full intact O-line. So that's the way I look at it. I seen the Saints play with a whole wide receiver crew, and it still wasn't much to be desired. So, and I'm keep on looking at the same thing over and over again. Undisciplined team, undisciplined play, penalties galore. Like, over with. Over with. Everybody on coaching staff is on a hot seat. Hot. Blow everything up. It's not the fact they can't block, they can't execute. Dennis Allen and P. Carmichael, get them all out of here. They can't hike. Yeah, they can't hike, man. But to try to lighten the mood a little bit, I guess, you know, if we're going to lighten the mood a little bit, have a little good time, let's go ahead and hit it.
Let me tell you a story about a coach with an 8-28 record. He had an opportunity to change the way the NFL world would look at him forever. But listen.
Sean Dennis Allen had our defense. Had them boys hunting every week.
No, man, but now what do you want to do, man?
Now all he does is clean. People always talking about
What they talking about?
Dennis Allen.
Dennis Allen, why they talking about him, baby?
I don't care what you did to them Raiders, just because of my team.
We wasn't doing it for the Raiders.
Now it's been about 7 weeks
It's been that long?
into the season,
Man, I guess it has, man. But what's been going on?
and the same thing he did to them, he did to me.
You got to be kidding me.
I'm screwed.
Good. Just be good to my team, man. And he couldn't do that. He couldn't do that, man. He couldn't be good to the team, man. He couldn't do it for us, man. And you know what? We got all these injuries out here, but no injury is more significant than a turf toe.
Turf toe, turf toe. Turf toe, turf toe. Turf toe, turf toe. Turf toe, turf toe. First it's Ben and then it's Thomas, then it's Hardy, and I'm asking myself, what the heck is going on?
What is going on, man?
Dennis Allen called the player to the sidelines and he fell. He collapsed. His whole body hit the floor. Dennis walked up to him and looked at him and asked him, what's the matter? He said, Coach,
Just my
it's
toe.
just my toe. Turf toe, turf toe. Yeah, Coach, I got that. Turf toe, turf toe. I cannot walk. Turf toe, turf toe. I think I got that turf toe. Turf toe, turf toe. Lord knows I wanna play. Turf toe,
But I
turf toe. Because I got that turf toe, turf toe. I said, Coach, when I got turf toe.
Ah, man, a lot of injuries, a lot of empty promises. But guess what? We still fans at the end of the day. We just want better product. We just want better representation than what we have on this team and on the sideline at coach right now. Let me read a few more of these. Let's go ahead and get up out of here, folks. Let's go ahead and get up out of here. Let's see. Mike says, at this point, I'm not expecting anything from this team. Most frustrating part now is that we're giving the Eagles a lottery pick. Absolutely. And they are going to be among one of the best teams. They might be picking at 32. Allen's head coach record 11-35. Does this tell you anything, Mrs. Benson? All I know is that when they made this hire, Gail Benson got on at the podium and she said, I'm not holding Dennis Allen accountable for what he did with the Raiders. That's all I heard. In the Mother Teresa type voice that she had, you know what I'm saying, a lady of such elegance and grace. She needs to have that same elegance and grace at the end of the season, letting us know that they're going in a different direction. That's all I know. Okay. If you want to say, oh, well, we're not going to count what happened in Oakland. Well, this team is 3-7 right now as him as a head coach. All I'm saying is if it walks like a duck, if it flaps like a duck, if it looks like a duck, then guess what, ladies and gentlemen? It's not a Kodiak bear. It's not an alligator. It's not an armadillo. It's not a hyena. It's not an elephant. It's a duck. And that's exactly what he is. And his duck ass needs to get up out of town. I apologize for using that profanity, but quack his behind up out of here. I am over Dennis Allen. This dude got our squad looking like some straight up scrubs, some bums, pathetic, miserable excuse of football players. You got a bunch of really good, talented guys on the team, but they're not scheming these guys open and they're not putting these guys in position to succeed because they don't even know what needs to be done to succeed. So how in the world can somebody tell you what you need to do if you can't even, bruh, you can't even do it your doggone self? Get these bums off the sidelines. Get them off the sidelines. But final segment, we got to answer the question, who was fluting? Who was fluting? Who is the player of the game for the New Orleans Saints? In my opinion, Kaden Elliss. Kaden Elliss had the best game for the New Orleans Saints. I mean, he was sideline to sidelines, almost had a forced fumble, had a sack, had a pass deflection, was out there going up against Firebloom, you know, the star tight end for the Pittsburgh Steelers, had a deflection right there. Played pretty well in the absence of Pete Warner and who he was coming in for. So I got to go with Kaden Elliss. Kaden Elliss was the bright spot of this team today. C8 need a whole new coaching staff. And I think you need a new defensive line too. I think you need some, like if you look at guys like TJ Watt, like these guys aren't 6'5", 6'6", 260 pounds. They short. They like, in comparison to like the Saints defensive ends, these guys are like 6'2", 6'3", maybe 240, 250. Some of them even 230. And they getting around these big old offensive linemen. They getting underneath them. They're able to bend their knees real low, get over them. Like that's what you need, man. You need to get fast on the defensive side of football. If it looks like a failure, smells like a failure, performs like a failure, is this good one. How many season highs did we give them today? How many season highs do we give teams every single week? How many how many opportunities have we given coaches who should be fired? How many quarterbacks who we gave an extra week to should have got benched? How many running backs? How many wide receivers? I really just don't know. But I do know this, that Dennis Allen needs to get the hell off the sidelines. I can tell you that right now. Blake Gillikin is back. Yeah, he punted one inside the 2, which they end up driving the entire field. Hey, TJ, what's going on, Jordan? Tickets better be cheap next home game. Yeah, you might be able to get tickets at the gas station again, like we used to do back in the 90s. Player of the game. The driver, it took courage to haul that garbage to the game. Crack what for the driver? Yeah, you ain't lying. You are not lying. You are not lying. But I'll tell you what I'm about to do. I'm about to go spend the evening with my family, with laughs and not even thinking about football and sports and all the rest of this nonsense that the Saints have put us through today. The Saints are like that kid that gives you the most problems, right? The one that keep you up at night, the one you just worry about constantly because for some apparent reason, no matter what you do, it just seems like they ain't gonna get themselves together. Lord have mercy. Sean Payton signed off on Dennis Allen. I feel that was the deal breaker for him getting hired, but regardless, he's not it. Well, look, I tell you what, this may be, if this not the case, well, I tell you what, this would be a genius move by Sean Payton by appointing Dennis Allen as the successor because he knows that he's not gonna pan out, and that'll give him enough time to be able to do what he needs to do, come back and be able to bring Dennis Allen onto his coaching staff. It is genius if you think about it, if that was the case, but I don't think he thought that much into it. But if he did, kudos to him. Kudos. That SOS man always hits hard regardless. Yeah, man, that was a really good bad back in the day. There's some good joints. We know Dennis Allen is not it. I just want to make this very, very clear. I hope everybody understands. I hope we all on the same page. If you don't come away from anything here on the State of the Saints podcast, come away from knowing that Dennis Allen ain't the answer. You know, just come away from that. Come away from knowing that Dennis Allen ain't the answer. Do we blame Jameis Winston for this season? Let Dennis Allen tell it? Yes. Nah, I wouldn't. And it's amazing to me if you want to keep it a buck. How many times have y'all seen Dennis Allen criticize Andy Dalton? Like how many times? Like how many times have you seen this dude criticize Andy Dalton about any decision that he made? Even the interceptions, the fumbles, everything he tried, he pretty much justifies. But when Jameis was having issues, he was quick to come out there and say, well, I only seen a few dropbacks where it was the offensive line fault that Jameis was getting sacked. He didn't have any problem. That tell you right there. Like I said, they never wanted this dude. I didn't see too much covering up for Jameis. I didn't. Timothy J. Jones, for one Tim to another, that song is the best thing to come out of the season. You are the best. Thank you for making this season easier to swallow. Pause. OU. Tim, thank you very much for the $10, man. I appreciate it, man. I ain't gonna lie. You know, this stuff right here got my creative juices flowing again. You know what I'm saying? I think as bad as this season has been, I think I tapped into like a side of myself and be thinking about certain things, rather it's during this show or even at the radio station itself. I found the ability to, you know, be a little bit more creative and take a little bit more risk. So in that process, I'm happy. But yeah. Let's see. Was it Lane Kiffin with USC that wasn't allowed back on the bus when they let him go? Do that. TJ, where do we go with this quarterback situation next year? Give Jameis a second chance or draft the second round quarterback? Draft the second round quarterback. Draft the second round quarterback, because here's the thing. You're asking a coach to come in and coach this team, and you know, you want him to coach this team, but you want him to have a level of confidence, and you want him to have his guy. If you go with Jameis, you got to, like, honestly, if you're going to go with Jameis, you got to find a offensive-minded coach. You got to find a guy like Frank Wright. You got to call Frank up and try to get him to New Orleans, because that's the only way that you're going to be able to, you know, help him. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want him to be your guy, you're going to have to bring a guy like Frank in. And regardless, you bring Frank in. Young quarterback, bring Frank in. Return of the Bag Saints remix coming soon. Y'all gonna love it. Premiere here on SOTS. And I'm not on the bag tip, man. I'm good on them bags, man. I'm good on the bags. But I mean, feel free to make that song. You know, make the remix. A lot of people feeling like that these days, but I ain't never wearing no bag. I ain't putting no bag on. We don't get that serious. We don't have a first. I like Hundley, but that West Coast offense, he not going to want to play in that. Who's to say it's going to be a West Coast offense, though? You know what I'm saying, Vincent? Like, we don't, like, if things are going the way that they're going right now, the Saints offense might be completely different. So you might get a little bit more. You might get a little bit more of a Huntley-friendly offense. LOL, return of the bags. Draft a second-round quarterback. Look, I'm looking at Grayson McCall. And the way that the Saints are playing right now, they're going to have themselves a high second-round pick. So try to get yourself quarterback Grayson McCall if he's there. Hendon Hooker if he's there. Somebody. You know, like, I don't know too many teams that really just need a quarterback that's probably going to be picking ahead of the Saints. Because at this particular point, I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know if the Saints picking in front of Carolina. Because don't they have the same exact schedule this season? So if they got the same schedule, Carolina won the tiebreaker. They got the tiebreaker, right? So if Carolina got the tiebreaker, I apologize. I'm not looking at the screen anymore. I'm actually looking at the standings. So if the Saints have the same record as Carolina, they dead last in the division, if I'm not mistaken, right? Let me make sure that I'm telling you all correctly. Yep. So the Saints are dead last in the division. Dead last. Because they're tied with Carolina with a 3-7 record, and Carolina beat them. So as of right now, the Saints are dead last in the division. hanging out in the basement where they belong, the way Dennis Allen got this team coached. Remember the interception in the second game that DA did not challenge? That was a clear drop and he allowed it to stand, but DA challenged a clear fumble by Mark. Them boys dead last in the division. Dead last. Right, TJ, Carolina beat us. So as of right now, the New Orleans Saints are dead last in the division. In the basement. Them basement boys. Dead last. And I don't see any letting up. Because people can say, well, man, look, they playing. Who they playing next week? Man, they playing Los Angeles. They playing the Rams. Bruh, the Saints just lost to a team that came into the game 2-6. So there you have it. But this has been the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you all so much. Ask that you hit the like button on your way out. Previous episodes available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor FM. And also you can check me out on Facebook, facebook.com, search The State of the Saints podcast. You can follow me on Twitter at TJAY Jones 8. Enjoy the rest of your night. Spend a little time with your family. Do something better than what you actually did for these last 3 hours and appreciate life as a whole. Till next time, all I got to say is